We've got hoops, home runs,
and a studio guest you don't want to miss. Sports Scene starts now.
USC men's basketball is coming off a 2-game road trip, but they didn't go too far. Good afternoon. I'm CECIL Hannibal.
And I'm Taylor Begley. Welcome to this week's episode of Sports Scene.
The Trojans are basically taking on the entire state of Oregon.
Really, Cecil?
No, I'm just playing, but they will face Oregon tomorrow and Oregon State on Saturday. They spent last week in the Bay Area losing to Stanford in a nail-biter, 79-76. But the team bounced back to take down Cal 89-66 on Saturday before coming back home.
Looking back to earlier this year, the Trojans fell to both the Beavers and the Ducks on the road. But USC has a much better track record at home. The Trojans are 11-4 at the Galen Center compared to 5 on the road. And last time the teams faced off, Kevin Porter Jr. did not play, so hopefully he can make a difference this week. With March Madness right around the corner, we spoke to head coach Enfield about what his team needs to do to finish the season strong.
We need to win some more games. Now, unfortunately, we've lost 3 at the buzzer in the Pac-12, so if we had 2 or 3 of those that we lost at the buzzer, there might be more push for that. You know, as coaches, you work with your players and try to give them confidence and go out. We hope that we can continue to win here. We have 5 regular season games left and a big tournament in Las Vegas.
Oregon State is the game to watch out for in what will be a rematch. Last time the Trojans lost in overtime, but right now the Beavers hold the 2nd spot in the Pac-12 standings. This will be a big win for USC if they can pull it off.
Yeah, and one of the keys to pulling that off will be team captain BENNIE BOATWRIGHT, who is coming off a stellar performance against Cal. He scored 37 points and set a school record with 10 3-pointers. He also leads the Trojans in points per game with 18.4. Here's what BENNIE had to say about this season.
Yeah, it's been a tough year as a team, but you know we're gonna go out swinging. You know we're gonna keep playing hard every day. There's a chance we can make the tournament. It's nice. We don't have the best resume, but you know we come out and play well these next couple of games, and then going into the tournament play well, we can make the tournament.
Well, we're pretty much toward the end of USC basketball season now, so I think it's time we play a game that we call, at Sports Scene, we like to call the hashtag game. You guys ready to play?
Oh, yeah.
This is how it goes. I'll give a statement or prediction about the remainder of the Trojan basketball season, and you guys will give me your best hashtags.
All right.
We've got Faith, Anwar, and Daniel. You guys ready to play?
Let's do it.
My first question is, what's going to happen in Oregon this weekend? All right, get to writing those hashtags. What you got? Who's going to win the game? Oh no, Anwar's kind of, he's hungry.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Faith, you go first. What do you have?
Okay, well, as Drake once said, I think USC will go back-to-back this weekend against Oregon State. You know, they haven't won to either team this season, but I think that, you know, coming off this big win over Cal, they're going to be able to come out and give a really strong performance.
Look, I don't know about Oregon State, but against Oregon, we're going on a duck hunt. You know what I mean? You guys remember that old Nintendo game, Duck Hunt? You probably don't. You guys are too young, but it's okay. Oregon is not doing well this year. We're just above them in the standings. They don't have bowl, and if they did, they'd probably be a lot higher in the standings. But we're going to take advantage of that this weekend, especially if BENNIE has a night like he did last week against Cal with his record-breaking 3-pointers.
All right, we're hunting ducks. Daniel, what do you have?
We're going on. It's hunting season, guys.
You stole that from me.
We're coming off beating a winless Cal team. Oregon is not far from us in terms of talent. And we're at home, so I'm going to lean SC right here.
Okay, so my next question, right? It's a tough one, guys.
Okay.
Who is your 2018-2019 MVP this year?
All
right, Faith, what do you have?
All right. Well, I'm going to go with hashtag one and done. And right here, I'm referring to Kevin Porter Jr. He's a freshman this year. He's a breakout player who many have rumored is doing 1 year in college and then going straight to the NBA draft. So he's been a consistent player for SC. He had, you know, a suspension and an injury, but overall he's been pretty consistent. So yeah, I'm gonna go one and done, KPJ.
One and done, Kevin Porter. What about you?
Look, I love Kevin. I love Benny. I love Jonah. I love the whole team. But our MVP is ASAP Rocky, Nick Rakocevic, excuse me. I'll get it right. I'm just so used to ASAP Rocky. But he goes on the inside. He gets in the post, and he gets those crucial rebounds, those crucial key points, while Benny, our other big, is out doing the big stuff on the three-point line. And when we're playing 4 out, when we have lots of guards in, when we have Benny in, we need that big, strong guy in the post like Nick Rakocevic to get those points down low. I think that's an invaluable stat. He's our MVP of the season.
Anwar's going with the big man. What about you, Daniel?
Look, players like Rocky are important, but he doesn't really score the points at the end. I'm going with
no shade.
hashtag Benny Buckets. Look, this guy, he's averaging 18.4 points a game, which is high at the college level, but he's also averaging 42% from 3, which is also good for anyone, pro or college, and he's honestly been a bright spot in a disappointing year.
True. ASAP Rocky's a better nickname, though. I'll give you that.
I do like that nickname.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
So my last question, you guys ready? How likely will it be that USC makes the tournament this year? Now remember, this is a USC show. Don't be too harsh, guys. You still have to go here, okay?
I'm always positive,
Okay,
Cecil.
okay.
All right, we'll let ladies go first. Faith, go ahead.
All right. Unfortunately, I'm going with March Sadness as my hashtag. I think that USC, they've had a good season this year, but they haven't done enough to really get back up there and get into the NCAA tournament. They haven't been in the tournament since 2009. I don't think it's their year, but, you know, they'll be sitting here in LA on their couches watching from afar. March Sadness.
Wow, but if you're going to be sad in March, why not be in LA, right?
Exactly. It's a perfect place to be.
Anwar, what do you have?
Here's the thing. Do we need the NCAA tournament? I think it's hashtag NIT time, because the NCAA tournament, look, at this point, there's no ranked teams in the Pac-12. If USC was to get in, they'd be probably a 14, 15, 16 seed. They'd have to climb through the Pac-12 tournament. They'd have to beat big contenders like Washington. You want to go to the East Coast and be a 16 seed and have to play Duke and big ACC and SEC schools like that? No, let's go to the NIT. It's nice. We get to play here in the Galen Center, at home in sunny Southern California, and the team could get a chance to shine and be their best. You could get to have Kevin Porter's draft stock rise up, you know? I think it's NIT time. Forget the tournament.
I know the boosters aren't going to like the NIT, though. Let's just say that. Daniel, what do you have to say?
When is spring football?
Wow.
Look, the Trojans were 19-9 at this point last season. We didn't even make the tournament. We have regressed into a 14-12 mediocre squad.
Mediocre.
Ouch.
We are mediocre. I just don't see it. KPJ has not been the X factor the Trojans I've been expecting from the Trojans. Honestly, there's more interesting stuff in life. We got to move on.
Oh my gosh, just rip the Band-Aid
Fair
off,
enough.
Daniel.
Fair enough.
Gosh,
Man,
well,
he's ready for it to be over.
he is. Well, that's enough for the hashtags. Let's toss it over to Nick Kaufman and Aiden Berg for an update on men's tennis.
Who won?
Thanks, Cecil. The men's tennis team is coming off a 1-2 effort at the ITA Indoor Championships. With a big match against rival UCLA coming up Friday, we have our resident tennis expert, Nick Kaufman, in to preview the Crosstown Showdown. So, Nick, is this a must-win, fork-in-the-road type of situation for this team?
Yes, it is. While 4 of the losses have come to teams ranked in the top 10, including a loss to #1 Ohio State, the Trojans, for the most part, have been dominated and even embarrassed in these matches. This Friday should be the easiest match of the season to get up for, and if the team cannot keep it close then, I'm slamming the panic button.
And what are you looking out for from UCLA's side of things?
I think one of the more underrated players on UCLA's team is sophomore Bryce Pereira. He plays in the 3 double spot, and he's only lost 2 matches all season long. And in fact, in one of his matches this year, he got hit in the head by a serve and sustained a concussion, but he continued playing and won the match. So this is really a gritty UCLA team that'll come out and play.
Yeah, very impressive. Finally, what is your prediction for this match against UCLA?
Well, at the beginning of the season, many would have predicted on paper that USC would win, but based on how the teams have been playing as of late, it's definitely swung maybe a little bit more into UCLA's favor, but at the end of the day, I think USC will get up and play this match and fight, and I expect a 4-3 Trojan victory.
All right, well, that'll do it for our preview. Earlier, we got the chance to catch up with sophomore Daniel Cukierman to ask him how he is preparing for UCLA.
I'm here joined by Daniel Cukierman from the USC men's tennis team. They're facing off this Friday against crosstown rival UCLA. Thank you so much for coming in today, Daniel.
Thank you for having me.
So you are here by way of Israel.
Yeah.
And you actually served 3 years in the Israeli army before coming to USC. So what has that transition been like for you?
It's been weird, honestly, to be a 21 years old freshman when everybody's 18. It's a little bit weird, and now when I'm a sophomore, I'm almost 23. So it needs to adjust. My English wasn't that great when I came here, and I studied international school, so it wasn't like perfect English. But when I came here, like the guys in the team got me like very well and a very warm welcome. So I feel very comfortable right now, and it's like new home.
And you guys are going against crosstown rival UCLA this Friday, and that's a team that last season you guys faced in Pac-12s and in the NCAA championships, which didn't end probably the way you guys wanted to. So how does that motivate you going into this match on Friday?
Well, every time I play UCLA, there's so much hype around the team, and everybody's super excited. I'm sure it's also for UCLA, but I feel like as a family, this year we improved. We have much better players, and everybody are ready for this challenge. And now we have more, so we have like additional power in the team, and I'm just like super excited for this match.
So what is the vibe around the team when you know you're in a week where you're going to face off against that team, UCLA?
Well, we came actually 2 days ago from Chicago. We had in national indoors, so we had a lot of matches the past few days, and I feel like the guys are ready for a battle. So we all in good physical conditions, and it won't be physical problem to match UCLA. It will be more like the atmosphere, and we just I don't know, the past week we're just thinking about UCLA, and it just like we get excited by the day it comes. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being here. We're excited to see you guys match up against UCLA, and we're rooting for you here at USC.
Thank you.
So make sure that you go out and support the USC men's tennis team this Friday against UCLA. Thank you so much for being here.
Two Trojan teams began the regular season this past weekend, and victory made its way to campus. Let's take a look at the success the Trojans had from the diamond to the pool. It's time to light the torch. USC baseball snatched its first series win over Nebraska Omaha, and although Friday night was full of rain clouds, the Trojan Stars shined bright. After being down by 3 runs, Chase Boucher and Jamal O'Quinn each homered to chip away at the deficit. The team closed out the game, completing a comeback courtesy of a walk-off by Brandon Perez.
We've just been preaching, pick the next guy up, so I knew that I could pick those guys up, and I knew I had a good chance to end the game right there.
The Trojans' momentum led them to a shutout victory against the Mavericks in the second game, winning 11-0. And in the final game, the Trojans tacked up 8 unanswered runs, but it wasn't enough to outscore Omaha. Although they lost, their offense was on fire. And just next door at the Utangsu Aquatic Center, the women's water polo team kicked off MPSF action after going undefeated in the preseason. They dominated the Indiana Hoosiers in a 19-1 blowout. After a total of 3 Trojans scored hat tricks in the game, junior driver Kelsey McIntyre said the success is boosting team morale.
It's nice to have the confidence going into our next big UCI tournament this coming weekend, and it's good confidence for our younger girls too to be 13-0.
Junior utility player Maud Meggins led the team with 4 goals. USC held Indiana to just 1 goal in the first period, leaving them scoreless in the last 25 minutes of play. USC baseball will host its series versus the 12th-ranked Arkansas Razorbacks beginning tomorrow night, and the women's water polo team heads down to Orange County this weekend to participate in the Barbara Kalbis Invitational in Irvine. Now let's send it over to Cecil and Taylor.
Cecil, did you happen to watch the NBA All-Star Game this weekend?
I did. You know, I love all the All-Star weekend every year, but my favorite play was J. Cole trying to dunk. Take a look at this clip.
I was hoping you would mention that.
Look at this. He tried to get up and he just missed it. But I mean, that's not what he does. He's a rapper. But he tried, and he's 34 years old. Come on.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of effort put in there. You see the reaction by Giannis there, who had a few dunks himself in the game.
That's what he does.
Yeah.
He's a dunker.
So
you gotta love Giannis and his reactions. Look at that.
roles
Look at his
should
face.
probably be reversed in this situation.
Well, thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Sports Scene. For everyone here at Annenberg Media, I'm Cecil Hannibal.
And I'm Taylor Begley. You can catch us on Facebook and Twitter at Annenberg Media Sports. See you all next week.